Hey man, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Game. Let me get my boy Brandon back up here. Okay, there we go. Hey man, it's episode 27. We got a lot to cover. It's the first round of the high school playoffs. We got our first college football playoff rankings, which I think are interesting. But apparently the SEC is overhyped, but that's whatever. And the NFL trade deadline, that was crazy. We look at teams that really decided that they were going to go all in at the deadline. I'm your host Jordan Barrett, and I'm joined by the quarterback Brandon Bullins. Brandon, how you doing today, man?
Pretty good, brother. How's it going? Just like you said,
Hey,
man, big stuff going on all throughout football this past couple weeks. So I'm
yes,
excited
yeah,
to talk about it.
yeah, nah, yeah, definitely. I'm good though, man. East Forsyth. We'll start at high school, man. East Forsyth did something that we didn't really do a lot of while we were in high school. They hosted a first round playoff game. Um, they they were they ended the season 7-4, which is not what's really necessarily expected around there. I'll just leave it at that. But they ended the season 7-4, but they got the win last night. Drill, I think that's the wrong graphic. That's from a few weeks ago. But they got the win over. They were ranked 10th, or they're number 10 on their side of the bracket. In the 7A bracket. But they got the win against Purnell Sweat, 63-0. South Mech, number 8 South Mech, loses to number 9 Palisade, 35-32. Number 11 Chambers beats number 6 Pinecrest, 32-31. Number 16 Reynolds loses to number 17 West Cabarrus, 28-27. Number 16, St. Stevenson beats number 17 Mount Tabor, 24-23. Number 11 Dudley gets the win at home against number 22 Glenn, uh, 35-14. And Eastern Guilford loses to White Oak. Number 15 Eastern Guilford loses to number 18 White Oak, 32-22. And Carver, I just had to put them on here just because it's Carver. Like, I don't know how many times I've actually seen Carver get a playoff win. Let alone make the playoffs, but get a playoff win. They were 13 seed. They beat number 20 Moorhead, 16-14. Brandon, just looking at these scores, looking at these games, what kind of sticks out to you?
Yeah, there's a bunch of just one point games on here. We're looking at 32,
Yeah,
31, 28, 27, 24, 23. Those are very close games, and it all comes from you look at the standings on them. They're all within pretty close in terms of their bracket, 16 and 17, 16 and 17 again. And then we have 8 and 9, who is also a one score game. So pretty close games all the way throughout in the first round of the playoffs here.
no, yeah, definitely, definitely. When you look at the, oh, hold on one second. Yeah, no, definitely. And I think we talked about it earlier in the season. Like, yeah, a school like Dudley would like to have that first round bye, but they were able to get into the playoffs, get their first win. Like, they've kind of been rolling ever since they were struggling early in the season. Um, they really kind of handled Glenn, so hopefully they can get on the run here. Um, when I look at schools like, I think Chambers is, let's see, what is Chambers 7? I be getting some of these 7 and 8A schools mixed up.
They got to be either
Oh, yeah, they're 8A.
seven or
Okay, yeah,
eight.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're 8A. Yeah, so um, I look at Chamber because I think they either made it to a state championship game or won one not too long ago. I kind of look at them. I just keep an eye on them because they already upset a team in the first round, getting the win 32-31 over Pinecrest. And then Reynolds. I I would love to know how that game ended 28-27. I didn't really get to see or really hear what happened in that game. But 28-27 to lose a first round playoff game like that is kind of tough, especially for a school like Reynolds. They're not necessarily always in the playoff discussion, but see if I can. No, I'll figure that out later then. But they're not really a school that's always in the playoff picture. And so for them to kind of lose a close game and you have home field advantage, but to lose a close game like that is kind of tough. Um, and then like Carver, I had to add Carver in here just because like there's how many times have we seen Carver in a playoff game? Like I don't think and as
Mm.
long as I've been playing high school football, or as long as I followed high school football and played it, um, but yeah, other than that, we'll keep an eye on these high school playoffs. I really need to look at the bracket to see who has who next, but that kind of will. I think you have next round we'll start to get some of the bigger teams back, like your Huffs, your Dudleys, the teams that were on buys for this first week. But let's shift over to college football, man. It's week 11 around college football, and Tuesday we got our first college football playoff rankings. I think for these for our for the rankings, Memphis would have been that group of five team that got that last seed in the playoffs. Um, but just based on the rankings, they had Ohio State at number one, Indiana number two, Texas A&M number three, Alabama number four, Georgia at five, Ole Miss at six, BYU at seven, Texas Tech eight, Oregon nine, Notre Dame 10, Texas at 11, and Oklahoma 12. Um, but like I said, I think um, Memphis would have had that group of five spot, but they also lost Friday night to Tulane. But Brandon, looking at those rankings, kind of what kind of sticks out to you?
What sticks out to me is a couple things. Number one is that BYU is number seven right there. I believe you said
Yeah,
that's pretty high up, especially for the college football playoff ranking. Are they a really good team? Absolutely, but are they one slot behind Georgia or two slots behind Bama? I don't know if they're that good. But I think a team like
I
Georgia
agree.
Tech, who I didn't hear get listed in that, I think they have a better chance than BYU. And for them to be left out of the top 12, that kind of raises
Texas
a
Tech's a
couple.
number eight.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
we actually got that matchup today. Texas Tech and BYU play today at noon.
Which is going to be a great game. I think game day's
Yeah.
out there today, so that'd be really cool to see. But yeah, Georgia Tech taking one loss last week to NC State in upset fashion, obviously knocked them down. But I still think as we've talked about before this season, there's not going to be really many truly undefeated teams anymore in this realm of college football. So a
Yeah.
one-loss Georgia Tech team, I still think absolutely
Georgia
deserves a
Tech. Yeah,
top 12
yeah, yeah.
spot.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, especially when you look at Oklahoma at number 12. Like I think Georgia Tech, like they had one loss. And you know that the ACC is always a wild conference. I mean, college football nowadays is wild in general with the parity just across the league. But it is, I think it does raise a lot of questions when you look at the way, especially the way Texas has been playing. Like Texas, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, those are all two lost teams that were ranked higher than Georgia Tech. I mean, granted they lost to Wake, right? But Wake is a damn good team this year. We've seen Wake has had a really good season this year. They lost a few games that they shouldn't have, but I think that's a team that's a little bit better than their record shows. Um, but I want to look at the top of this thing, like Indiana at number two. I don't like. I don't know how I feel about that because I looking at Indiana. Yes, they beat Oregon. I guess it's a matter of how high you look at Oregon. Um, I don't necessarily look at Oregon as one of those top teams, and so I think yes they beat Oregon, but I guess with Oregon ranked at number 9, I guess you kind of have to put them up there. But I also feel like a team like Texas Tech, who I mean they're only one spot down at number 3, but I feel like they've played a much tougher schedule than Ohio State and Indiana, who are ranked 1 and 2. I mean I understand Ohio State coming off a national championship, they haven't really done anything to lose that spot, but they also have not done anything to keep that spot. Like they beat Texas, but we've also seen what Texas is this year. Um, yeah, like just what are kind of your thoughts on that, especially like with this whole Big Ten SEC thing?
Yeah, I completely agree with your point about the Texas Ohio State game. That was a one score game and it was ugly. Like
Ugly,
14-7 final score.
terrible.
That is ugly, that and that's I think there was a lot of it was week 0 or week 1 of the
Yeah,
season, so both teams were still in very very early stages of development and whatnot. But still, you would expect from a true number one team in the country who just came off a national championship win with the same coach to go out
yes.
there and at least put up 28 some points at least, right? But no,
To
you're putting up 14.
yeah,
But I also agree, Indiana being at number 2 is honestly shocking. That's not something that I think anybody kind of expected going into the season, especially with the first year head coach like Cincinnati or maybe second
yeah,
year, I think
no,
now.
yeah,
But he's done a great job turning that program around. He got himself a bag now, and I think he's going to continue on. Just playing these games week in and week out and continue to dominate. And like you said, but Texas Tech at number 3, like you said, has played a tougher schedule. I think they deserve a shot at that number 1 or number 2 spot. But once again, like you said, have those other two teams done anything to lose their spots? No.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not in any way trying to vouch for Alabama to be one of the top. Like, I mean, granted, we're top 4, so I'm okay. I'm cool with it. Like, getting that top 4 seed, having that first round bye. But I'm not like thinking, oh, Alabama should be 1 or 2. They had a bad loss to Florida State to start the year. They've gotten a lot better, but that was a bad loss. And so I just go to a team like Texas A&M, and I say I think they're the best team in the country, based on, or they should have that number 1 ranking based on what we have seen play out through these playoffs. Um, I think a team like Ole Miss is ranked a little bit too high. Like, yeah, their only losses to Georgia, but it's also like Ole Miss does not impress me. Like, I think their defense is solid. Lane Kiffin's going to be able to draw up plays, score points. Yeah, but I'm not big on Ole Miss. Um, I feel like only one team from the Big 12 is really going to get into these playoffs. So Texas Tech and BYU are probably going to. I think it'll be interesting to see who wins this game. But I think Texas Tech is the more well-rounded team. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Um, and then Notre Dame at 10 though. Let's talk about that real quick though. Notre Dame at 10 with 2 losses, and it's like they're like their first 2-loss team, and they're number 10. I guess that Texas A&M loss looks better every week as Texas A&M continues to roll. But like, how do you feel, or do you think that's a proper spot for Notre Dame to be?
It's tough. You see a two-loss team this late in the season, you would think they shouldn't be in the top 10, maybe even the
Top 10.
top
I
15,
agree.
but then again, you know how much everybody in the ranking system loves Notre Dame, so you see
Yeah,
their bias kind of come into play and put them in that top 10
every
spot.
year,
Every
every
year, it's
year.
every year. But now, granted, like Notre Dame, no doubt is a great football team. They absolutely have the talent and the coaching to be a top 10 team. But with the two losses, I think that should hinder them more than where they are right now.
1,000%. But this committee makes mistakes every year. We'll just see what this one is this year. But we'll take a look at some games. We'll start picking some games. Number 2 Indiana is going on the road to Penn State. Penn State is 3-5. They've kind of been on a slide since letting go of James Franklin, who I've heard might get the job at Virginia Tech. We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see if that happens. Um, but I, could this be a trap game for Indiana?
That's a loaded question. It really could be. It really could be. At this point, Penn State has nothing to lose. You know, they're
Yeah.
sitting at, like you said, they're sitting at 3-5. They already got rid of their head coach. They're playing decent football still, to be honest with you. They
Yeah,
lost,
they
I
are.
think, last week or 2 weeks
They are.
ago by like a last second field goal.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And
I
they
don't
had
know,
a
man.
chance to
Like
win last
Penn
week.
State still has the talent and the coaching to really go out and compete. You know,
Yeah.
they just been falling short in a few of those games.
Yeah.
So it could be very well, especially on the road at Penn State in Happy Valley. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. On the road is what always gets me in these games, and that's what often will lead me to pick the home team. But I think I'll go with Indiana just because I don't think Kurt Signetti is really going to allow for a trap game. But damn it, I would love to see it. Like I would love to see Indiana take a loss. Like I guess that's just my SEC bias. Like I don't want to see an undefeated Big Ten team going into the playoffs. Like because I just think that just goes into the whole argument of they don't really play anybody. But granted, this a loss to 3-5 Penn State is going to look bad. That's going to be bad. But I guess if the committee really thinks Oregon is the team that they believe they are, then I think that will outweigh the loss to Penn State. But I'm gonna go with Indiana in this one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree. Penn State, even if they do it get in a close game with Indiana, we've seen it a few times this season. Close games, they can't finish it. So I'm gonna go with Indiana.
Yeah, yeah. What's new? They fired their head coach and they still got the same result. They can't win close games. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. But number 5, Georgia is on the road at Mississippi State. Mississippi State is a damn good football team. I think a lot of people sleep on Mississippi State. They're 5-4. Mississippi State is a damn good football team, and this is a game that, especially with the way that Georgia has been playing, this is a game that I could see them losing because Georgia has come out very flat in the first half. They haven't really played dominating football. Like they've always had to come from behind and win games. And so I think this is a team that if you get behind, you could lose.
Yep, I 100% agree. Mississippi State, like you said earlier, is one of those teams that they're better than what the records say. Even
Yeah.
though they are 5-4, they very easily could have won any of those 4 games. So, like you said, this could be another situation that Mississippi State could just get up early and just keep the pressure on and end up pulling away at the end, or something along those lines. So, wouldn't surprise me there. But once again, I think Georgia has been in those situations before. I think they have enough experience to kind of pull themselves out of a rut if they do get into one. I'm gonna take Georgia here.
Yeah, got to go with Georgia. They can't even afford another loss. I don't think, especially not to a 5-4 Mississippi State team. But then the game we were just talking about, 8-0, and number 7 BYU is at number 8 Texas Tech, who is 7-1. With that noon kickoff, I'm gonna let you take this one first because I don't know.
Yeah. This is a very interesting matchup. I think we were saying earlier with Texas Tech being number 8 and BYU being number 7. BYU plays in, let's be real, a much weaker conference, and or they have it at least in their non-conference schedule. And then Texas Tech has been more of the battle-tested team here. Um,
Yeah,
so this is going to be a very interesting matchup for sure. But like I said, with game day there, a home game for Texas Tech, they're going to be up and rowdy for this game. BYU is going to have to walk into a very, very interesting environment and try to pull out a road win. That's going to be tough. I actually think I'm going to take Texas Tech here.
really. I think this is a matter of I think this game will just come down to coaching, and I haven't seen Kalani Satake for BYU get out coached much. Um, he's going to have a trick play. He's going to have something up his sleeve that he's going to pull out in this game. And I think that's going to be the difference in the game. And it's just a matter of if Texas Tech is prepared and ready for it. Because I think as far as skill, like if you go position by position, Texas Tech is clearly the best team in the Big 12, like by far. But some way you got teams like BYU, teams like Utah. I mean, Utah is struggling a little bit this year, but just teams that find ways to win football games. And so I think I'm gonna have to take BYU in this one. And then we've got number 3, an undefeated Texas A&M on the road at Missouri for a 3:30 kickoff. This Saturday is this day is just filled with trap games. I'm telling you. And you see the number 22 by Missouri, and you say, "How is this a trap game?" I think the better teams in the SEC look at it as this is just Missouri, like, and I just don't know. We'll see. We'll see if, especially with Texas A&M on the road. Like Texas A&M is on the road at Mississippi State. That's why these games are trap games, because the better teams are on the road. They're on
Yes.
like I'm a
We just saw it happen last week. Georgia Tech was on the road at NC State
yeah,
and lost by 2 scores. I mean,
yeah, NC State, yeah.
it wasn't even close. So, this was 100% this time of the
NC
year.
State's a damn good football team too,
And
though. Like,
that's the crazy part because even though the record says they're 6-3 or whatever they are now, like
yeah,
like that's still a good football team regardless of record.
yeah.
I think Missouri's in that same category, especially that they're ranked now. Like, come on, man! Like that very easily could be a trap game. I think out of any of the ones that have a chance, or that at least I'd like to
That's
see
the
happen today,
biggest.
it'd be this one.
That's the biggest one. I'm 1,000%, 1,000%. Just because I also feel like there are levels to this stuff, and they're Texas A&M just isn't there yet. Like when you look at I guess Georgia is Georgia, but you start looking at your upper echelon SEC teams, and it's just like I just don't know if I'm putting Texas A&M there yet. Like just like Indiana, I don't know if I'm like okay, Kurt Signetti has clearly turned them into a football program. Indiana was simply a decent basketball school a few years ago, but now they have a real football program. Am I ready to say, oh, Indiana's about to go out here and win a national championship? Hell no, absolutely not. And I think that's what I'm gonna say about Texas A&M. I don't think they're ready or really prepared to go out here and win a conference championship or even a national championship. And so with that, I'm gonna go with Missouri in this game. Or you can go ahead if you got anything else on this
Oh
one.
yeah, sorry, I was just thinking like if Missouri does pull this off, I was gonna ask you this: if Missouri does pull this off, does that now? How far up does that put them, and how far does Texas A&M fall?
I think you gotta start. I don't think Texas A&M drops out of the top 9 just because once again we look at like they beat Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's at 10.
Mm.
I think I think Missouri jumps Notre Dame because I think Missouri then becomes the 10th best team because I think they then become the best 2-loss team in the country. I think they have the best win amongst the 2-loss teams because you look at Notre Dame, who the hell has Notre Dame beaten? And they got Notre Dame above Texas and Oklahoma. At least Texas beat Oklahoma. At least Texas has a good win on their schedule. Who the
Yeah,
hell has Notre Dame beaten?
yeah. I
And
was
so
just thinking
really I
because
would probably oh go ahead.
the, these football playoff implications are really coming down to like crunch time now. Missouri,
Yeah.
if they win this game, could very easily make a very strong late season push. They
Oh
could get
yes.
hot at the right moment, and really, if the committee were to do, I don't want to say the right thing or the smart thing, but one of the two, they Missouri could sneak in there and really make a dangerous run.
I'm pretty sure you look at Missouri's losses. Um, they've dropped a game to. They lost to Alabama. They got Oklahoma City, and they have Oklahoma next week. Jeez, they going in there and beat Oklahoma. You look at a Missouri team that's lost to Vanderbilt. They've lost to Vanderbilt and Alabama. Those are your two losses. If you're in year 6-2 Missouri, I think those are two good losses that can put because those are two playoff teams. Like, and I think that's a better resume than what the hell Notre Dame is putting out there. Like that's about the best way I can put it. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
man. And then, well, I'm hoping Oregon lose again. If there's a school that I don't like, it's Oregon. Granted, I don't hate on Dan Lanning, but if there's a school I don't like, it's Oregon. They're going on the road to 6-2 Iowa, number 20 Iowa, and going. Iowa could win this game, and I think I'm gonna take Iowa in this one. And it's just another one of those trap games. The better ranked team on the road against a damn good football team, and I'm gonna take Iowa in this one. And I think we're gonna just keep on dropping Oregon. Hopefully, they don't make the playoffs this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna 100% agree with you here. I think Iowa, even though their record says 6-2, they are just as good talent wise and coaching wise as any other team in the country right now. Like you
Yeah,
said, a
yeah,
very another very easily trapped game for Oregon. They've already lost one. They're kind of on the I don't want to say a free fall now, but they're slowly dropping. This could be one of those situations. They come out a little flat. They come out with a little bit of lack of confidence, get smacked in the mouth a time or two, and the next thing you know, they're down 2 scores. This could get interesting, especially with Iowa now having an offense. Their defense has always been
yes.
phenomenal, but now especially having the offense to match with that, things could get spicy out in Iowa
But
today.
like you said, getting smacked in the mouth, we know who's gonna be the more physical team,
Oh yeah,
and you know, if this game they're going to play ball control, they're going to control the control the ball, control the time of possession, and they're going to run the football. But they don't just have to run the football. They have a quarterback. They have
Mhm.
receivers. Like they can throw the ball if they need to. But I just think they're going to out physical Oregon at home, and they're going to win this football game. And it's just going to be that simple. Like it's I don't know what the spread on this game is, but I'm gonna take. I'm pretty sure Oregon's favorite. But I'm gonna take Iowa. I'll take the money line. I'm not even taking the spread. I'm gonna take the money line on that
Yes,
one.
sir.
And then those bums from over there in Louisiana are going over to T Town, coming out to T Town, Tuscaloosa. Unranked LSU against number 4 Alabama. It hasn't really been. We have Tennessee hate week. We kind of have a Georgia hate week, not as much. It's more of respect, like because Kirby came from Bama. Like it's more of a respect with Kirby. But these motherfuckers over here in LSU and Louisiana, I hope it hasn't necessarily been as fun because they got that. They don't even have a head coach no more. But I've been hearing too many people talking about, oh, they don't got a head coach. They didn't even like Brian Kelly, so they're gonna be up to play this game. They're gonna go into Tuscaloosa and win this game. And I gotta tell you, gotta be out your rabbit ass mind. You crazy as hell. If you think these 5-3 bums are about to come in there and beat us for a number of reasons. I mean, I think we're gonna have a great matchups on the outside between corners and wide receivers because LSU's defense and their secondary has been for real. Problem is though, who I thought were one of the better quarterbacks, Garrett Nussmeier, he's been shitting the bed all year, all season long. And Garrett Nussmeier has not been playing good football. And as we know, and we talk about all the time, football comes down to quarterback play. And we have the best quarterback in the country right now. We're 11 weeks into this thing, and I think it's safe to say that Todd Simpson, even though he had a bad week one looked atrocious. he's probably the Heisman favorite. I know they talk about that the quarterback from Indiana, but like, eh. But I'm a the tide is gonna roll on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. I think LSU is not gonna. I don't think they're gonna walk in Alabama today. Obviously, Alabama knows that LSU is going to be up for this game, and I
At
think
night,
Alabama is going to match it as well. Yeah, and Alabama at the end of the day is the better football team here. And funny enough, talking about quarterback play and Garrett Nussmeier.
yes.
Nussmeier, I don't know if you remember, was like projected to win the Heisman this year going into the season. And I'm like, I don't know, I
Oh,
don't
he was
know. I thought
projected
that
to
was,
be the first quarterback drafted.
yeah, yeah. Like he was supposed to have all these accolades and stuff, and just has not lived up to that standard, which partially is on him, partially not. But either way, regardless, it's a situation that he has to live with, and hopefully hopefully they can try to at least keep a close game with Alabama today.
I hope not. I hope it's not close. I don't know if in their best linebacker isn't playing weeks. Yeah, they can mark that up as an L. They might as well not even come. But over in the NFL, man, it's week 10. After that snooze fest we had Thursday night between the Broncos and the Raiders, that was see, this is what you get when you get a when you get a scrub running yo lower thirds. He talking about Broncos win again. No, the Broncos don't win again. The Broncos win, okay? But the Broncos are scrubs. The Broncos are frauds, okay? They beat Geno Smith and them sorry Raiders by 3 points. And if they played anybody else, they would have lost. You know what? I'm about to pull up the Broncos. The Broncos schedule.
Drew, I'm not gonna lie. I thought the same thing Jordan did. As soon as I saw Broncos win again, I was gonna say something. That's funny. But 8-2 Broncos win again.
Go ahead, Brandon. What you 8-2 Broncos? I don't care about yo. It don't matter if y'all are 8-2.
That's funny.
Y'all have
Uh,
beat. Okay, let's go over the teams that y'all have beat. Y'all have beaten. Y'all have beaten the Titans. One of it was just arguably the worst team in the NFL. You lost to the Colts, which is how you feel about the Colts. You lost to the Chargers. Two good teams you don't lost to. You beat the Bengals. They can't stop a damn nosebleed. You beat the Eagles. That's one good win. You beat the Jets. That's the fucking Jets, okay? You beat the Giants, and you beat the Cowboys, and the Broncos, and the Texans, and the Raiders. These are not good football teams. And you know what? We gotta wait a whole nother week for y'all bums to lose a football game. I'm sick of this. I am sick. No, I don't care about them being number one in the AFC West. It doesn't matter. We're worried about playoffs. And you know what? Brandon, go ahead.
hey, all I'm
You
gonna
got
say is
anything to say about this sorry game?
they are rightfully the number one AFC team in the West. That's funny. That is funny. I forgot that they had beaten the Eagles and whoever else it was actually pretty. Oh, the Colts. They're actually doing pretty good this year. So respect to those two games.
They lost to the
Everything
Colts
else, I'm
though.
gonna agree
That's
with
the
you,
thing. They
Jordan.
beat the Eagles. Like, fucking sorry. I
Um,
guess.
but but about this
I
game,
guess.
there's not really much to say other than Cortland Sutton kind of tanked my fantasy this week, so I'm kind of hurting there. But other than that, I think I'll be all right.
Okay, let's talk about fantasy for a second though, because I feel like a lot of people. I feel like fantasy points around the league have kind of just been like around like the entire football league has just been down this year. I got lucky this year. I got in one of my leagues. I got Jameer Gibbs and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Them boys have been keeping me afloat. I started the season. You know who my quarterbacks were to start this season? I had that bum down in Jacksonville, and I had who was Justin Fields. Now and then I ended up with Kyler Murray. So guess who my quarterback is for the season?
Joe
Guess who?
Flacco.
Just take a guess who my quarterback is for the season. I fucking wish. At least he's putting up. I got Trevor fucking Lawrence. I got Trevor Lawrence. And so I need, if it wasn't for Jackson Smith and Jigba and Jameer Gibbs, I would be hey, right now I'm sitting at like second or third in my league. I'm chilling, man. What is fantasy looking like for you? Because it's been tough for everybody. Everybody just been scraping by with wins.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And I think there's actually a reason for it. So I was looking at trends over NFL, like just over the past like 10 seasons or so. We saw a really big like increase in, well, okay, so in the mid 2000s, right, everything was like heavily run,
Mm,
everything was like run game. Everything was just very
yeah, yeah,
downhill,
yeah.
run the ball, with your 3 yards of pop, 3 yards in a cloud of dust mentality. We saw the rise of the pass up to like 60% of the time. It's starting to
Oh
even
yeah.
back out again to where it's more closer to 50-50. So I think a lot of receivers from that standpoint, their drops or their fantasy sports are dropping because of that, and the running backs are
Mm,
rising. But
mm.
either way, um, here I'm in 3 leagues. Okay, I'm gonna boost myself up first, and then I'm gonna talk shit about this one league that I'm in. Okay, so with all my boys down in Fayetteville, let's see where I'm at. I'm tied for third right now. I have a
Mm.
71% chance to make playoff. In my sleeper league, let's see. I'm also third. I'm sitting at 6-3 there, but I have the most points scored in that league. All right, and then here's what hurts. I'm in a thing at work. Okay, and I started off the season, Jordan. I'm not even kidding. Let me pull it up here. Started off the season 1-6,
Jeez.
1-6. So I'm hurting, but I've won the last 2 weeks now, and I'm projected to win this week by seventy
Okay.
percent. So I'm making a
Okay.
late push to just sneak in that
Yeah.
last playoff spot. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. I probably would have been like you if it. There have been plenty of nights when I'm going to bed or something, and I was down 50 points one night, and boy, Gibbs just saved me. Like Jameer Gibbs and Jackson Smith and Jig, but they're just. But yeah, it. But I think that's a good point. That's a good point that you made though with because they're definitely getting back to running the football a lot more.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah. Dumbass thing. Travis Kelsey went like the first. I decided to. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But yeah, Travis Kelsey wasn't putting up any points, so I to, to drop him. Like I just guess what? The week after I drop him, that man put up like 20 something. Like he just
That's always how it goes,
he's
man. As
going
soon as you
crazy
drop somebody, they go crazy.
as a fantasy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what was actually interesting, um, this this past week was the trade deadline. Um, so we had a number of trades. The Colts went and got Sauce Gardner. Cowboys got Quentin Williams and Logan Wilson, and the Eagles. You know what? Fuck the Eagles, okay? Howie Roseman. Fuck Howie Roseman, okay? We'll start with the Colts, okay? The Colts go and get Sauce Gardner, and I just think this is one of those moves that we kind of knew that there were going to be buyers and sellers at the trade deadline based on where teams' records were. I'm surprised there weren't a little bit more sellers. But the Jets were definitely one. They started just kicking people out. They didn't care where you went. They just started kicking people out. What does this trade kind of do for the Colts?
If anything, it's only going to improve their secondary. I mean, let's be real. I think Sauce is still a great DB. I think his name has started to kind of die off in terms of hype and whatnot because of his play, and maybe that's just because of how much of a true lockdown corner he is. I haven't really watched a lot of his stuff or
Yeah.
really haven't heard much of it, so it could just simply be because he's playing very well and he's a lockdown, so he's not going to get his name thrown around because he's not getting stats, or it's because he started just kind of become put on the back burner in terms of who is the best corner in the league. Obviously, like we hear guys like
Yeah.
Pat Surtain and whatnot. So could be one of those scenarios as well. But either way, going back thinking about how what this does for the Colts, I think for the Jets, they're like we've seen they just cleared house. They're like screw it, we're just gonna get
Oh
draft
yeah.
picks up and then just try to completely rebuild because everything we have is not working.
And they got new head coach, and so it's like they're gonna let him come in and make some picks. But like my thing is, you traded away young talent. Like they weren't like it's not like you traded away. I mean, granted, maybe you want to free up some cap space, but for what? Like that this team. I mean, I think we saw this team wasn't what we thought. We thought they were a quarterback away. We saw that they're not a quarterback away. Um, but you had some really good, solid pieces to build around, and you just said to hell with it. And it's like I guess, like y'all get paid to do this. I don't. I just told you how bad I was with my damn fantasy team. I mean, I'm 6-7-3, 6-3, something like that. But yeah, y'all people are smarter than we are. I mean, just like Andrew Berry traded damn Joe Flacco to the Bengals. That hurts my brain. Um, but these sorry Cowboys, they went and got Quentin Williams and Logan Wilson. Quentin Williams, a defensive tackle, and Logan Wilson, a linebacker. What would what do you think this kind of does for their team, especially a team that can't stop fucking run?
Yeah, yeah. If anything, once again, this is just going to be a really good addition for their D line. Like you said, they've been struggling to stop the run this year. Quentin Williams is known as, I guess, kind of taking up the middle of the line, kind of that nose with the three tech.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be a pretty good pickup for them, especially like you said, he's young still. He only got drafted a few years ago, so he's only gotten better since he's entered the league. Hopefully, he just gets the right amount of coaching, and hopefully the Cowboys can, you know, I think they're sitting at what 3-5-1 right now or something ugly.
Yeah, yeah.
If, but let's be real. I mean, even if they lose a couple more games, as long as they win 3 to 4 more over these next 5, 6, 7 weeks, I think they'll be okay. They'll be in that wild card hunt. They might squeak in
You
and then
think
probably
so?
get out of the first round. I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen that. Here's the Cowboys, right? They're either freaking 12-5, 5-12, or in the wild
Yeah,
card. Like there's no in between. So I think they're
yeah.
going to be in
But
the.
I just kind of wonder, do you think this makes them a playoff team, like a real playoff contender?
I don't. Not with the addition of Quentin Williams and whoever else. No, I don't think it does.
Yeah,
I mean, it
I
helps.
agree.
I don't think it outright makes them a playoff contender, though.
I agree. But I just think on both sides, NFC and AFC, I don't think there are going to be many teams that have 4 or 5 losses and making the playoffs this year. Like, granted, we have a long season to go. Don't get me wrong, we have a long season, but you just start looking at some of these teams, like the Rams, the 49ers, the Eagles, hell, the Bears, the Lions. Like, you just start going around the league, and it's just I don't know where a five loss or a five and a tie, which is that only puts you above a 6 loss team. Like I don't know where that or how that gets you into the playoffs, and it's like I mean I could be wrong. They could win the next I don't know however many and end the season 11 or what 12-5-1
Yeah.
or 11-5-1. Yeah, so
Well,
I mean I guess we'll see, man. But then the Eagles, they go get them a pass rusher. Go get them a corner. Two of them, actually. We've been talking about a team that has. We thought they were struggling on offense. Their general manager, Howie Roseman, said, nope, we're going to go get some defensive players. And they just made a secondary that's already good better. Um, you get a really good defensive end in Jalen Phillips, who can not only rush the passer, but stop the run. Um, I don't know why the hell Baltimore just decided to trade Jair Alexander. Um, and has he had the best season? No, but this is Jair Alexander.
yeah.
Like, and then we have Michael Carter. who's also a corner. Like, what are kind of your thoughts on these trades and like what a team that was also already in that Super Bowl hopeful like conversation? Like, what do these moves kind of do for them?
Well, for me, if I were to be in the mind of the GM or in that organization, I think they're leaning into two different categories. Number one is that defense wins championships, right? Like we've heard that term before.
Yeah,
If they're just beefing up the defense even more, that's great because they're already winning championships without these players. And that kind of leads me to my point number two. They're trying to, I guess, lean into their strengths even more. If their defense is already winning championships, let's beef up the defense even more, make it even better, make
let's
it even
keep
harder
doing it.
for an offense to go out and score. That way, because we know
Yeah,
our offense has been struggling a little bit this year. If AJ Brown's not on, if Jalen Hurts isn't on, that's fine. As long as we score 14 points, we have a decent shot at winning this
we're gonna
game.
yeah
So it's probably just one of those ideologies or kind of philosophies. Let's just beef up the defense even more, and offensively, let's score 2 to 3 times and get out of there with a win.
yeah yeah definitely. Let's just pick some games real quick.
Yeah.
We got the page. We'll start with the Patriots versus the Bucks. I think this will be a damn good game. Who you got in that one?
This is an interesting one, man. This is a toss-up. The Bucks have I've always been a fan of Baker Mayfield ever since he got to the Bucks and has really helped propel them to where they are now. But Drake May has been
Hmm.
playing lights out this season. I think he's the MVP frontrunner right now, which is crazy coming from a rookie second year guy. Like he's playing really well. So it's tough, man. Patriots on the road. It's hard. I think the Bucks are going to sneak this one out by like 1 or 2 though. It's not going to be a blowout.
Yeah,
I think it's 1 or 2 point game.
yeah, yeah. And I think that 2023, 2024, whatever draft class that was, with like him, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, or was Bo in this? Yeah, Bo Nix was in that class.
Yeah.
That might be the class that starts to bring us back to those Brady, those Manning, those the starts to give us that high quarterback play because we've kind of been missing it outside of that. You know, your Mahomes, your Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, um, and it's like you kind of have like your top 3 or 4 quarterbacks, and then hell, I'll throw Baker Mayfield in that conversation. But now we're starting to get those young guys, especially like, um, I mean, shit, he's not a young guy, but a guy like Matthew Stafford, he's still damn doing it at a high level.
Very much.
And those Rams are going to San Francisco to take on the Niners. Um, oh, I think I'm gonna go with you and take the Bucks in that Patriots Bucks game. But who you got in that Rams Niners game?
Like you said, man, Matthew Stafford is playing lights out this season too. I was looking at the stats. He's 21 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions so far this year. He's putting up like 2020 Aaron
We're
Rodgers
10 games into the season. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness! No, oh
yeah.
my goodness!
Dude, he
Those are
very
MVP
easily
numbers. Go ahead though.
he very easily could finish like 40 something touchdowns and less than 5 picks. If he does that,
Less than five
he's out
interceptions.
he's
Yes,
outright the MVP in my eyes if that's the case. And 49ers have
that's
been
MVP Rogers numbers, like you were saying.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's almost unheard of these days for that to happen.
Yeah,
49ers, I think Brock Purdy's back in the rotation now. They've been okay without him, but now they're starting to hit the sledge kind of tougher than what they thought. Rams are playing pretty well. I'm gonna take the Rams.
yeah. I think this is an NFC West. This is a divisional matchup, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna take the Niners in that one. I think we're gonna get a lot of. I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored, especially between Sean McVay and jeez,
Shanahan.
yes, yeah, Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. But I think I'll take the Niners in that one. And then the Steelers are making a trip out west to play the LA Chargers. Who you got in that one?
This is, dude. These matchups are just the NFL as a whole is just insane this year. I feel like any team at any week
I
can go out
agree.
and win. Like it's crazy.
I agree.
Steelers have played really well. Obviously, Rodgers has kind of. Are we going to say that Rodgers is back into that good to elite category now. He struggled last year, but
He's
uh,
been playing some good football.
they're playing good football, and I think with the offensive additions that the Steelers have with DK Metcalf and you name it, they're doing well, right? Chargers this year have played well early on and have offensively been pretty explosive with 1 to 2
Yeah.
receivers being at the helm of that early as Quentin Johnson. Now it's getting more back into the Keenan Allen realm. It really depends on who's going to score more points in this. I think the Steelers defense is going to do a better job than their Chargers defense. I'm going to take the Steelers in this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll take the Steelers in that one too. Um, the Chargers are another team though that I think they might just be frauds. Like they might not be what we thought they were going to be. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Steelers in that one. And then I think this is a Sunday night game. The Eagles and Packers, or maybe it's a Monday night.
I think it's Monday
Either,
night.
either way, yeah, we got the Eagles versus the Packers. Um, Eagles, we gonna see what them trades have done, and if their defense has gotten better. Who you got in that one?
This is like another one, just crazy matchup. The Packers are coming off a tough
Yeah.
loss to the Panthers, surprisingly. Who the hell are the Panthers? Who? You know,
See, that's what I'm saying. No, you're talking about what's the name making the playoffs. I don't know if the Cowboys make the playoffs because you
oh,
even look at the Panthers. The Panthers are playing some good football.
yeah, dude, I forgot about the Panthers. They're sitting at their winning record now. They're like 5-4. Like they're right there at it
Five and
too.
four, yeah.
Either way, but yeah, the Packers coming off that tough loss versus the Panthers at home. I think the Eagles are on the road in Green Bay too. But either way, both teams are going to be up for this
Yeah.
game. I think the Eagles and Packers have been
Oh yeah.
playoff rivals over the last few seasons. Eagles have obviously edged them out. So I think it's going to be one of those things where, Jordan Love and team is going to really have to play a solid game all the way around to have a chance. If if the Eagles do what they're supposed to do though, and if AJ Brown and Devontae Smith even get just a few touches each, I think they'll be fine. I'm gonna take the Eagles.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go with the Eagles in that one, because I think it's going to be a defensive matchup. And whose defense is better? It's the Eagles. Like overall, yeah. Like yeah, the Packers have Micah Parsons. They have a good front seven with Rashawn Gary, but the Eagles, the Packers just don't have a secondary. And that's what's going to be the difference in the game. And I think they're Eagles going to be able to pressure Jordan Love, and Jordan Love just hasn't played. He's been Jordan Love. Like we know what Jordan Love does, how he does, man. He's gonna do something crazy, but he's also gonna throw you one or two of them. Like, and so yeah, I'm with the Eagles in that one. And then we got the Jaguars and Texans. I think Travis Hunter is on IR, so he's out for the next, I think like 3 weeks. They're going to Houston. I don't think that Texans are gonna give them any problem though. I'll take the Jags in that one.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with CJ Stroud being out for the Texans, they're having I think it's David Mills going in at quarterback for the Texans this week.
Hmm.
Much as I love any backup going in and try to have a shot at it, I just don't have faith in David Mills to go out and win a game like this. I got the Jags.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, that's all I got for the NFL. You got any D2 D3 shout outs for us today?
I got two. I got two. Number one, Roanoke College has relaunched the program for the first time since World
Oh,
War II, believe it or not. And they're playing in the
jeez, yeah.
ODAC, the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. They are having a decent season so far. They're not dominant by any means, but they'll be a team. They'll be a team to look out for sure. They'll be a team to look out for sure. Hopefully they can continue to turn the corner and get a few good, um, wins going for the future seasons and whatnot. And last but not least, Methodist today, homecoming. Got to give a shout out to the boys, man. Hopefully they can pull out the last game of the year win. They've really struggled this year, man. So hopefully they can turn it around.
Yeah. Hopefully that, yeah. Let's at least get a win on homecoming. All right.
Yeah.
Like, hey man,
Oh,
but that's
sorry,
all
sorry,
I.
sorry. That's what it
Go
was.
ahead.
Sorry. Uh, staying in the USA South Conference, LaGrange out of Georgia is taking on Belhaven out of Mississippi. Both teams are 5-0 in conference play, playing
Mm.
today for essentially the conference championship. Whoever wins this is going to get the automatic bid for the playoff. And honestly, whoever loses this still might get
Mm,
the at-large bid. So we'll see. But either way,
yeah. Mm. Hey, we'll keep an eye out on. But that's D2,
that's
D3.
D3. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, for the playoffs. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and they need to change that. Hey, everybody shouldn't just be getting automatic bids, especially when they only got 5 teams in the conference. But that's neither here nor there. We'll fight that fight another day. But if you enjoyed the show, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe on YouTube, um, and drop y'all's playoff predictions for next week. Who's playing who and who y'all think will win. But we'll be back next week with more high school, college, and NFL talk. Man, appreciate y'all.